What is up, guys? It is Instant here, and today we are going to be going over my top 10 free-to-play characters in Marvel Strike Force. This is kind of going off of my personal rankings, the ones I think are the best in terms of free-to-play characters. And the rules for this list are that you have to be able to grind these characters either from campaign nodes, from the Arena Store, War Store, Blood Store, etc. And I'm not taking into account, any of the red stars or any issues with that. I'm just taking into account the availability of these characters, how good they are, and how worth it they are. Now, I don't 100% remember the unlock requirements for some of these characters. Some are 100, some are like less than that, some are 80, some are kind of like, I think there's some that are at like 50 or something like that. It's very random. Kind of 9 times out of 10, most of these characters are unlocked at 100 shards. So keep that in mind, just so that you know ahead of time. You can see a lot of these bottom characters are kind of at 3 stars at the moment. Same with Scarlet Witch, same with Cable, same with Groot. And that's just because I've been trying to build up my Spider-Verse team, but that's for another video. But yeah, so we're going to go over each character, how you guys unlock them, and then kind of talk about some of their abilities that kind of make them appear on this list. And to do that, we're going to start with Cable. I know this might be a weird choice for some of you guys. Some of you guys might be like, "Oh, Cable, that's a really weird choice." And that's why I'm putting him towards the top of the list. Again, this isn't really in a certain order, but that's why I'm deciding to start with him first, because he's kind of, if you can get him, and if you have the patience and time to wait out the War Store or use your power cores to refresh it and try and get Cable, he is worth it. You get him at 2 stars from the store. I got him 3 stars recently from farming. Just purchasing extra shards for him because I have 4 red stars for him, so I'm trying to get those filled. And I'm also trying to get him to 5 stars for the mutant event for Magneto that'll eventually happen. So again, he's a good character for that as well, because his main ability that makes him super amazing for teams is his ability right here. I only have it at tier 3, which I think is, you at least want it tier 2, tier 3 is really good too. But right now what this does is it says on spawn, self and all allies gain 5% speed bar. And then on your turn, on every turn Cable has, he has a 20% chance to apply counter to any mutants. So for me, the normal, loadout I run is 3 mutants. So it's Cable, Deadpool, and Wolverine. So each turn he has 20% chance to apply counter to him or one of them. And he has a 10% chance to apply counter to another ally. So if you want to boost that to 20%, you could go level 4 for this if you want to. You don't really have to. The main benefit is that speed bar. And then another great ability he has, if you're pairing him with Deadpool, is Psychic Surge. If you're just using him though and you're not going for Deadpool, his main ability you're going to want to focus on is Overload. Now, if you ever fight a Cable in, Blitz or Arena, you'll see that when it's autoed, his first attack will always be Overload. But if you wait, as it says here, if it's also charged, it'll attack targets a bit further. So if you wait, get charged, and then shoot Overload at the center target on a team of 5, you can affect the entire team. And that's also not counting if it's a bunch of, if you're in like campaign and there's like 10 enemies on screen at once or something like that. But it attacks the primary for 130% damage, which is not great, but it's not awful. And it changes speed bar by 10% for whoever it damages. So for everyone it hits, it changes their speed bar by 10%. So it's a really good ability if you are not focused on an entirely huge speed build, but you want to slow them down and give if you want to give your healer a little bit of safe space, a little bit more time so that they can get their speed up so that they can heal the team, or etc. It's just a really helpful thing, and again, I kind of leave it at level 5 at the moment. I'm probably not going to max it out, just because of the fact that the only thing I really use Overload for is the speed bar. So that's just me. And then on top of the 130% damage for everyone it hits, it does 180% damage for the main, and it also changes the person that you shot overload at, changes their speed bar by 50 instead of 10. So it's a very, very good ability for, slowing down a certain target and then, bonus slow on the other targets. Plasma Rifle, it's just used to get you charged and between attacks. Yeah, he's a very great character. He's definitely worth going for if you can. Again, he's in the War Store, so if you guys want to go for him, that's how. Next up is going to be Juggernaut. He is easily my favorite protector in the game that I have. He is amazing, and that is just because of the fact that Immovable Object, which is his ability that as soon as you can use it, like as soon as you start up or whatever, basically. I have it at tier 6, but even if you have it at tier, I would recommend at least getting this to tier 4 for that death proof effect, because it is very helpful. So if you want to leave it at level 4, you can. There's no harm done for that. But if you have it at level 6 like I do, even level 7 might be decent, but I kind of keep it at level 6 right now. I'm not 100% sure if I am going to boost it up to level 7. We'll just have to see if I bring him into Dark Dimension eventually. But at tier 6, you get Taunt, defense up for 2 turns, Immunity, which means that you get no negative effects on you, Death Proof, and 1 use of Regeneration. So you get some self-heal, you get Immunity, you get Death Proof, you get defense up for 2 turns, which in turn also, helps a protector have even more health, kind of give him more survivability. And that's great. And this is without Magneto. And then his passive is also pretty good because every turn you get charged up to 4. And then he's really good with raids, but you also get 5% max health, 5% resistance, 1,000 resistance when he has immunity, and then 1,000% resistance against stun. And that's just when he exists. You don't need Magneto for that. That's just what he has. And again, that's at tier 4. That's not. You can even upgrade this just to tier 3 and get that resistance against stun. And even that's very helpful. So again, I probably, unless I get Magneto, I probably will not ever upgrade this to level 5. But this, his passive in turn helps everything he does. His passive and his basic. If you upgrade it, which I probably will eventually upgrade this to tier 6. I probably won't do tier 7, but tier 6 gives you an 80% chance whenever you attack to get ability energy, and the reason I'm saying that's important is because if you get him to the 4 charge stacks, then when you do Crushing Charge, he does 320% base damage to, one target and then whoever is close to them. And then that's also an extra 80% per charged. So if you have all 4 stacks of charged, that's a lot of fucking damage. That's around 500% damage, if not more. That's insane. And that's just at tier 6. Like, even if you did, level 4, then what level 4 does is that's 60% bonus per charge instead of, 80, which is still not bad. Any extra damage, but even with how I have it, it's amazing. If you want to farm him, he is in the arena store. He's only, I think, 500 credits is what all the marquee characters are. So if you do want him, that's the easiest way to get him. Next up, we're going to be moving into the 3rd character on our list, which my computer thinks slow, but it's Scarlet Witch. Again, some of you might also think this is weird, but the main reason I love Scarlet Witch is because she's a part of 2 different teams. She's a part of 2 different really great teams. She is a part of the Supernatural team, which is not going to really get mentioned as much on this list because only her and Mordo are actually farmable off of it. Or her and Doctor Strange are farmable off it, I mean. But she's also a part of the Avengers team, which is a very good team for early game things and even mid-game. It's good for Blitz, Arena, etc. Her main 2 abilities are actually, honestly, her whole kit, now that I'm thinking about it, is actually really fucking great. And that's because of the fact that Hex Bolt which keep at level 4. Go for level 4 with this. I'll always say that because it is worth it. You can go higher if you want, but bare minimum you want to get to level 4. And that's because you attack the primary target for just 100% damage, which is not the important thing, but you can apply 1 to 2 negative effects. 9 times out of 10, what I see myself getting with this whenever I use it is I'll get offense down and defense down on whoever I attack. So they do less damage, and they're gonna take more damage whenever you attack them following that. And that's really great for if if somebody is taunting like a Luke Cage or someone like that. It doesn't really affect Juggernaut, obviously, but it is great with other protectors because then you can throw that at them, throw their defense down, and then if they have defense up, you can kind of negate that, or if they don't, then you weaken them. You can take the taunt out quicker and focus on others. And it also can apply slow. I don't think it can apply bleed, from what I've seen. But Warp Reality is really great. I don't think I'm ever going to really upgrade this to level 7. I might eventually, again, when I go into Dark Dimension, but right now, Deflect and a 50% chance to apply defense up plus healing. It's a really weird thing, because it's really good for the higher health characters you have. So if you have her with a bunch of like protectors or characters with high health, then you redistribute your total squad health. So the more health your squad has, the more health you do. It distributes your entire group's health evenly between your entire team. And that also, from my testing, does include minions. So if you have like a Ronin or a Yondu and you summon someone, that adds the health to the pool, so that increases the health that it gets. So it's a very, very helpful thing in cases like that, or if you're going through story nodes and then you get put with a character that has a summon, it's very helpful. Again, Deflect is just really helpful for negating damage. Chaos Wave is great. I'm gonna eventually get this to tier 6, just because of the fact that prolonging every negative effect for each target is great. But right now what it does is each target has 3 negative effects prolonged by 1 duration, which is really good if you have bleed and defense down and offense down. But it's amazing, and it can completely change the pace of a match if you threw a blind or a stun on a target, because then they're blind or stunned for a whole extra turn. So that means depending on the character, they're completely useless for another turn. It also, again, can turn the match if they have ability block. Those are the 3 ones you definitely want to save it for. And then again, I'd say probably defense down and bleed are the other 2 important ones. And then again, supernatural allies, but I don't have a supernatural team. And then power of Chipthon, I don't know how to fucking say it. Basically every time you upgrade it, you have a 10% chance extra to spread a negative effect from a random enemy. So if a random enemy has ability block, you have a 30% chance each turn that she has to toss that over to another enemy, and then their ability blocked. It can spread any effect except for stun, and that doesn't change. So it's a good ability. It's not game breaking, but it can help you sometimes. It's come in clutch a couple times. I'm going to start speeding through this because I don't want this to be like an hour-long video. And again, I don't know if I said it right away, but Scarlet Witch is available in the Arena store as well. 500, just like Juggernaut. Next up is Vision, and he is available in Mystic 2-9, and that's a node through Mystic. He's a very great character. He requires some really weird things. He'll require like Mystic gear for his gem, and then he'll require mainly tech gear otherwise. So it's a very odd character to try and get to a higher level. But he is very great. A lot of people use him with Scarlet Witch, or they'll use him on the Power Armor team, because Ironheart hasn't fully been released yet, like we can't really grind for her. But Heavy Hitter is probably his weakest ability, just because all it does is you have a chance to apply offense down against a tech enemy, or against random enemies. It's not bad. It's a decent attack. The Dive Bomb is the main attack that people use him for, and I'm going to be upgrading this to tier 6. or level 6, because what you do is you attack for damage, and again, it's an AoE attack, but it applies ability block to whoever you aimed it at. Um, so what you want to do is early on use this against the healer or against the like tank or things like that, especially in war or raids. Um, it's amazing to use that. Again, Blitz is we're not really going to talk much about playing Blitz, um, but he is an amazing character. Again, if you pair him with Scarlet Witch, and you hit ability block, and say you have this a tier 6, and then you ability block 2 people, and then you have your Wolverine go and slice and cause, or you have someone do an attack, like even Miles, you have them attack someone else, and then that applies Disrupted, and then there's Disrupted on the field, there's like slow on the field, there's ability block on the field, and then you spread all of that with Scarlet Witch's ult, and then that's all for Vol. It's a very great ability. Solar Beam is pretty good even without Scarlet Witch, because you can apply Blade if you have Scarlet with you, which is why you want to combo them. But if you don't, then you have a 50% chance to clear 2 positive effects from anybody that the beam hits. It's not just the primary target. It's very great. Density manipulation we're not going to talk much against because it's mainly just dodge chance, which is a helpful ability, but it's not really much to talk about. Next up is Groot, and Groot is farmable from Nexus 2-9. That's one of the nodes. Crushing Blow, not much to talk about. I am Groot, a fairly helpful ability if you're running a Guardians team. Even if not, it's helpful. But if you really want to be running a Guardians team with him, because then on the off chance that he does die, which again I'll get into in a second, just because he has his whole thing is keeping his team alive. But if you upgrade it to tier 2 like I did, you get all of this. So at level 1, you only get a 10% chance to revive with 25% of the health, and you apply Death Proof. But if you upgrade to level 2, you also have a 50% chance to apply defense up to all allies, and speed up, offense up, and counter to any Guardians allies. That is insanely amazing. So if your Groot gets bursted down hella quick, then your team's not completely out of luck. And the reason I'm saying he has really good sustain is because he has defense up plus death proof. I would recommend getting this to level 6 because, again, if you have a summon, you're going to want to give everyone defense up. I don't know if I would go to level 7 because part of Groot's thing is if he does die, it still helps his team. So level 7 I wouldn't fully recommend on him. Because you don't really need 2 death proof for Groot. And this isn't only a 3 energy ability. So if you have anybody spreading ability energy like Star-Lord, then there's a chance that every other turn, or every even 2 turns with Groot, you can just keep spamming death proof and defense up if it gets taken away. It is very helpful. Life Spores is not as great, in my opinion. It is good for the effect of giving immunity for 2 turns, but 9 times out of 10 that doesn't really change the game much, in my experience. So next up is another Guardian, Mantis, and Mantis is farmable from the Blitz store. Again, 500 Blitz credits, very simple. Sleep is a great ability because it has a chance to, if you spawn, there's a chance that you'll spawn charged, and if she does spawn charged, whoever you do your basic attack at is stunned. So you don't want to just hit whoever. You don't want to throw it on auto. I mean, you can, but if you really want to make the most of some of these characters, you really want to take the time. Again, that's what Sleep does. Empathy is fairly great because it spreads around health to you and whoever's close to you. 9 times out of 10 just heals your entire team. I haven't seen issues where it doesn't heal someone on the team. So, my microphone's somehow. Anyway, I'm gonna leave that in because it's a very me thing to do. But you heal for a set amount of health plus a certain percentage of your own health, and then you heal all other allies that aren't right next to you for another set amount of health, which can change. plus another percentage of your health. And then you have a 75% chance to apply regeneration to yourself and allies near you. But if you are in raids, which is where Mantis really, really is strong, this is where she does amazing. You apply additional regeneration to all allies whenever you do. So if you do apply regeneration, you apply 2 instead of 1. And it's not an always thing until level 7, but again, unless you are a very raid-heavy alliance, don't worry about getting it to that level. It really doesn't matter, to be honest with you. But yeah, and then there's Soothe, which redistributes your health between you and the lowest health ally, and then it also heals you and that ally for an extra 1,000. And then again in raids, it has 75% chance to transfer one negative effect from you and the target that or whoever the lowest is, to whoever you were technically aiming at. Which would mean like wherever the icon is, it would transfer that to that. So that you're still kind of attacking while healing in a sense. And then it has a 75% chance to clear one positive effect from the enemy target as well. So you can possibly throw a negative effect on someone and remove a positive. So it's a very helpful thing in raids. And then Will 2 power just kind of heals you every chance, or every turn. I would recommend getting this to level 3 just because of the extra stun chance. So it's a very good thing to have. Not really much to talk about Mantis. She's a very simple character, but she's very, very amazing at what she does. Next up is Mystique. She's probably one of the most important Brotherhood characters to have, in my opinion at least, aside from obviously Juggernaut or Magneto. And that is because of her ability Shapeshifter. Infiltrate's very good too. Now, I will mention this. Mystique is available to grind from the node Villains 5-6, or 5-6 I should say. But what she does right now, and again this is at whatever tier I'm at. So at tier 4, she attacks the target for 100% or 110% damage. I can't talk. And then she also tricks a random enemy to attack that primary target. So you'll clone them for a second. You'll look like them, and then they'll attack it. And I always pray to God if I see a Mortar or a Scarlet Witch on the enemy team that they attack, because then it's a negative effect spread to the enemy, so you're getting a free negative effect. And then you also get a chance to gain evade after the fact, which is very good. Infiltrate is great if you have like a hand sentry on the other team or something like that where it's spreading stealth all the time, because then you attack the target for damage, and then you attack another target that doesn't have stealth, and then on top of that you attack any characters in stealth for 100% damage, and you remove the stealth. So it's very helpful for removing stealth out of enemies and just doing a little bit of extra damage. And then if there's nobody that had stealth, you get stealth. And it's very helpful. Again, a lot of it is kind of dependent on Magneto or Sinister, which I don't have either of them. So. But then each turn you also have a chance to get evade. I might upgrade this to level 2 or even level 3 just for the extra bonuses. But right now it's really the most important thing. But if you also have Magneto or Mr. Sinister again, any Brotherhood member is stronger. Pretty simple, not much to say about Mystique. Now here is one that some of you guys might not fully agree with right away. Hopefully you'll agree with me and understand after the fact. But this is Hawkeye. You can farm him from 2 different nodes, Heroes 6-6 or Villains 1-9. Villains 1-9, super easy to get to. Especially since they give you 2 free villains basically when you start the game. They give you Crossbones and Elektra. Amazing help. I'm actually working on getting him to 5 stars as one of my shield agents to try and get Iron Man at a higher star level. Well, there are 3 reasons that you want. And that is, one of those reasons are his abilities. Another reason is a kind of thing in his passive that I will list as a separate thing. And then another thing is his synergy with Shield members. And Shield is one of the most dominant teams. Deadeye is great because of his passive, which I will explain. Concussion Arrow is his main ability that can completely flip a match. This is one that you do want to get at level 7. Because at level 7, you attack the primary target for 140% damage, change speed bar by 15% to them and anyone adjacent, and then you would clear all positive effects from the primary target and anyone that it damages. So you're removing every positive effect, and you're slowing them down. That is an insane ability, and you can use that as soon as you start the match. So if as soon as you start the match, you're slowed, and then a Scientist Supreme gets off their ability, and then there's, all these positive effects. Save that against that team and use it. But if there's a situation where the enemy team has a bunch of positive abilities at the start, throw it out. Just toss it at them, and then it's not a worry. It's very helpful. It's very good against the Guardians for removing, defense up, death proof, all that kind of stuff. Offense up from Gamora. It's an insane ability. Airburst is also very good. You definitely want to get this to 4 or 6. It's really up to you which one you prefer. You definitely want to get it at 4 at minimum, because then you have the chance to apply blind to 3 additional targets aside from the person you already hit. So whoever you're aiming this at will always get blinded, unless they have a super high resistance. And then you have a 50% chance to also blind 2 additional targets. It's a very helpful ability, and his passive, I don't know, it doesn't necessarily say it here, but on your turn you have 30% chance to attack an enemy during stealth when they have it, for 60% damage, and then it clears stealth. But another thing with Hawkeye that it doesn't fully say is that he doesn't ever miss. It says it here as well, and it applies for all of his attacks. He can never miss. He can be blinded, and he'll still not miss. Nothing you can do to this guy except for stunning him, obviously, which means he can't attack. Nothing you can do will keep him from doing damage. He is amazing for having consistent damage and kind of just looking at negative effects and saying, actually, I don't really care. He's a very helpful character to have, again, for a shield team, for Avengers. He's just a very, very strong character. Very, very underrated in my opinion. If you're running a shield team, throw him on there. If you only want one marquee character aside from Nick Fury, some people say choose Black Widow. I say choose Hawkeye, because he is fucking amazing. But anyway, that was Hawkeye. Next, we're moving on to Jessica Jones, who's farmable again from 2 different nodes, Villains 2-9 and Nexus 4-9. She is arguably the most important part of the Defenders team, who, again, as you guys have probably seen from other videos, are a great early game team. Very helpful, very amazing in game, and that is because of 2 different things. Shake It Off, which, by the way, I've seen a lot of people do this. Do not use Shake It Off right away. Do not use it first turn. Do not. It is not worth it. A lot of people do it if they have negative effects, which, I mean, if that's what you want to do, that's fine, but I don't recommend doing it. But it's great because when you use it, it clears negative effects from you and everyone on your team. And it generates 1 ability energy specifically for each defender. And then you give 2 ability energy to whoever the 5th person on your team is. So this, what you want to do, if you want, you can run her on her own team without any other defenders, and then she's always generating ability for herself and 2 ability to random others. Now, I wouldn't recommend doing this just because it's very, very iffy on whether it's worth it or not. And then another great ability for her is Rejection, because you attack the target and you remove a positive effect. And you can upgrade this in every other level. So level 3, level 5, level 7, etc. You will get an extra positive effect removed off of the target. So if you are running a heavy Defenders team, this is the main team you want to get, go for getting this to level 7 because it's worth it. Denial is fairly helpful just because it increases her resistance and it increases, City Defender allies. This ability is very good for upgrading if you are doing a Defenders or City Brawler team. And then last but not least, again, some of you guys might not agree with me on this one, but it is going to be Green Goblin. And let me pull up my notes real quick. Green Goblin is farmable. He is farmable from the node of Nexus 5-6. I have seen him in the supply store for like 450 power cores. Don't wish power cores on him. Use the campaign nodes and just farm for him. He is the most important character for the Sinister Six team. And the reason I'm putting him here kind of towards the top is because of one specific ability, Cauterize. Now, on any Spider-Verse ally's turn, you choose one random enemy, and if they have a positive effect, you remove it. And this is every single turn of a Spider-Verse enemy. It's not, oh, a chance. You always remove an effect. And then on spawn, you apply defense down to the enemy with the most resistance. And then if they're a shield enemy, you apply that for 2 turns, and they can't resist it. And then you also gain 10% max health, which is very helpful. And then if you upgrade it to 4, which I would recommend, that means you choose 2 random enemies, and that they both have 1 positive effect. It's very, very good. It's an amazing ability. Fire and Brimstone's fairly good as well. It's not great, but it's helpful. Especially if you have, a Shocker or a Mercenary Lieutenant where they're giving off offense up, then you're spreading all that damage all over the place. And the reason he's a very important character to get, and the reason I want you guys to go out and build up Sinister Six, and mainly Sinister Six, is because of the fact that they can get you 2 different legendary characters. They can give you Invisible Woman and Shuri. And those are both probably the strongest members in their respective teams, because Shuri is amazing for the Wakandans, and Invisible Woman is the main reason why the Fantastic Four is so good, honestly. So yeah, if you guys want to farm for him, definitely do it. It is worth it. It's probably a long grind, but if you can get him, go for it. He is the first member of the Sinister Six that you should really focus on, because he is the one that makes the team as strong as it is. Again, Shocker kind of helps with that too, just because he applies offense up to Sinister Six people. But Green Goblin elevates the team to as strong as it is. Green Goblin is one of the reasons the team is as meta as it is. We're going to end it here. We're going to leave it on the main menu. Again, this has been the free-to-play guide. I know it's a bit longer, but I don't want to edit this down because I want you guys to get the details. I want you guys to have the information and make the decisions that you guys think can help you. Yeah, if you guys want more Marvel Strike Force videos, I might kind of dip my toe in here and do a couple more. But if you guys do want more Marvel Strike Force content, let me know down in the comments. This will not be my entire channel. I will not become a Strike Force channel or a mobile game channel. I might start up a channel for that someday once I get back to YouTube. But I want to focus on getting this channel more consistent, and we'll go from there. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed this content, leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe, turn on notifications. Join the Discord. It's a really great way to contact me, suggest videos. I'm going to occasionally, once more people get in there, I'm going to do subscriber Discord member kind of lobbies in certain games on PC, on PS4, etc. So if you guys want to do any of that, that's a good way to do it. If you guys want to kind of help support the channel, I do have a Patreon, but the main way I'm going to suggest doing it is just by, liking the videos, leaving comments, turning on notifications, stopping by live streams when I do them, all that kind of stuff, because that kind of support means a lot more to me than any amount of money could. Obviously, if I can get to the point where I make money off of YouTube, I can do this full time for you guys. But that's not what I'm doing this for. I'm doing YouTube to kind of put out content that people might enjoy. But again, I don't want to bog down the outro of this video too long. It's already a 35-minute video. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed the video, leave a like, all that stuff. Check out BlueStacks. I'll leave a link in the description. Also, if you guys ever want some kind of gaming necessities, I guess, or at least I consider them necessities, check out 2 of my sponsors down below. Rogue Energy, they're a great energy drink company. They use no sugar. They have different shaker cups. They have a bunch of different flavors. They're all amazing from what I've had. And then another company that I'm sponsored by, Gamer Gloves. They are so comfortable. They are comfortable to wear. They don't mess with your grip. They enhance your grip, and they're amazing. Um, they're probably two of my favorite sponsors I've ever had. Um, just because of the fact that I will always stand by the quality that they have. But again, you guys don't have to, but if you do want to get some extra gaming things for yourselves, use my link and or my code, and then you guys can. What I would recommend doing is using my link, because then if you guys use my link, it supports the channel and gives you a discount. And then on top of that, you can also use discount codes, so that you're getting a percentage off and supporting the channel, and then you can use a discount code to get even more off. So if that's what you guys want to do, again, feel free. Again, no pressure, but if you guys do, send me a screenshot of the confirmation of the order and that you used the code. Obviously, blur out all the personal information and stuff, like blur out your address and all that shit. But if you guys send me that, I will give you a shout out on either in a video, in a live stream, on Discord, etc. It's really up to you guys, but I am going to end it here. So if you guys did enjoy, feel free to subscribe, turn on notifications, and let me know what else you guys want to see on the channel. But without that going on, I hope you guys have a fantastic day, and I hope to see you guys in the next video.